Instead of listing the obvious animals that need us, like dogs and cats, even though that's debatable, we have curated a list of animal species that rely on us for their continued existence. Many animals have evolved alongside humans, becoming reliant on us for survival. Dairy cows are a prime example. Originally derived from wild aurochs, these modern cattle have been selectively bred over thousands of years to produce more milk than their calves can consume. Without human intervention, dairy cows often struggle to manage their excessive milk production, which can lead to health issues like mastitis. These cows now depend on farmers for regular milking and care. Additionally, their population numbers and genetic traits are maintained through human management. Without this support, dairy cows, along with other domesticated species like certain breeds of dogs for instance, would face serious challenges in the wild. Human activity has transformed these animals to the point where they rely on us for survival, highlighting our profound impact on their existence. Carrier pigeons, once vital messengers in times of war, have become reliant on humans for survival in modern environments. These birds, such as the famous racing Homer breed used in both world wars, were trained to carry important messages, saving countless lives. Their homing ability made them invaluable during times of communication blackout. But today, their existence in urban areas is closely tied to human affairs. Cities provide pigeons with nesting sites in tall buildings and a steady supply of discarded food. Without human-provided resources, their populations would dramatically decline, as natural food sources and nesting options would be far less abundant. In rural areas, pigeons can be pests for farmers, scavenging grain, but in urban settings, they rely heavily on human waste for sustenance. While they could survive in the wild, human presence has allowed them to thrive, making their future closely tied with our continued influence. And we call them the rats of the sky and regard them as pests, yet they have performed admirable duties for humans. Raccoons are incredibly adaptable animals, known for thriving in human-dominated environments like cities and suburbs. Their intelligence and dexterity allows them to find food and shelter, often from trash bins, attics, or other man-made structures. While they are survivors by nature, raccoons have become dependent on humans for many of their needs, especially in urban areas. Human waste and discarded food provide a consistent food source, and the tall buildings or houses mimic their natural habitats. Without these resources, raccoons would struggle to survive in such large numbers. Though they still play a positive role in the ecosystem by spreading seeds and controlling pest populations, their increasing reliance on human-provided resources means they are no longer fully equipped to thrive without human presence. If human habitats disappeared, raccoon populations would likely shrink drastically, making their survival increasingly uncertain. The Barbary lion, once roaming the mountains and deserts of North Africa, is now extinct in the wild. Known for their role in history, including being used by Romans in the Colosseum, this majestic animal fell victim to hunting and habitat loss. By the mid-1960s, the last wild Barbary lions disappeared. Today, the only remaining Barbary lions are in zoos, where they are a part of a global breeding program. Without human mediation, the species would not survive. Though it's ironic that we were actually the ones to blame for putting them in this position in the first place. Zoos play a crucial role in keeping these lions from vanishing entirely, as they provide controlled environments for breeding and raising the lions safely. While Barbary lions no longer roam freely, efforts by conservationists and zoos around the world aim to ensure their continued existence, making humans vital to their survival. Domestic sheep have become dependent on humans for survival due to thousands of years of selective breeding. Unlike their wild ancestors, like the mouflon, domestic sheep no longer shed their wool naturally and must be sheared by humans to prevent overheating and wool-related health issues. They also rely on humans for protection from predators, access to food, and general care. In return, sheep have provided humans with wool, meat, and milk. This mutual, almost symbiotic relationship has allowed domestic sheep to thrive. But without any humans, many of these animals would struggle. Overgrown wool could lead to infections, heat stress, or difficulty moving, and their dependence on human-managed pastures mean that they're less capable of foraging in the wild. While wild sheep are adapted to their natural environments, domestic sheep have lost many of these survival traits and now rely almost entirely on humans for their well-being. Unlike their wild counterparts, rabbits have had most of their survival instincts bred out of them, making it difficult for them to fend for themselves. Without human care, domesticated rabbits are vulnerable to predators and lack the ability to find food or shelter effectively. They rely on humans for regular feeding, protection from danger, and medical care when they fall ill. While wild rabbits live in large colonies and work together for survival, domestic rabbits thrive in the companionship of humans or other bunnies. Left alone, they often become stressed and lonely. Although they may survive briefly if abandoned, most domesticated rabbits will eventually face illness, injury, or predators. Their dependence on humans for safety and sustenance makes us essential to their long-term survival. Lice are small parasites that have adapted to live on humans for thousands of years, relying entirely on us for survival. There are 3 types that feed on humans: head lice, body lice, and crab lice. All of these lice need human blood to grow and reproduce, meaning without people, they wouldn't survive long. Head lice, for example, lay their eggs or nits on human hair, while body lice attach their eggs to clothing fibers. They live close to the skin to access blood regularly. Crab lice are most commonly found in the pubic area, but can also appear in other coarse body hair. Though these pests can be a nuisance, their entire life cycle depends on humans. Without us, lice would quickly run out of their main food source and habitat, making human presence essential for their continued existence, much to our disdain. Domesticated chickens are completely reliant on people for their continued survival. Over generations of selective breeding, they have lost many of the natural instincts and physical abilities that their wild ancestors, the red jungle fowl, still have. While the red jungle fowl thrives in the wild, most modern chicken breeds would struggle to fend off predators, find food, or handle harsh weather without human care. Meat breeds like broilers are especially vulnerable because they are bred to grow large quickly and often can't fly or run well. Chickens raised in battery cages or industrial farms are also highly reliant on human systems for food, water, and temperature control. Without these resources, they would likely not survive long. The California condor is one of the most critically endangered species in the world, and its survival is still dependent on human conservation efforts. Once down to just 22 individuals in the 1980s, conservationists launched an intensive recovery effort that included breeding condors in captivity and releasing them back into the wild. While these efforts have helped the population grow, condors continue to face serious threats, especially from lead poisoning. When they eat animals shot with lead bullets, they ingest toxic fragments, which often leads to sickness or death. Another threat is microtrash, which condors can mistakenly eat, causing serious harm. Without continued human help, from removing lead poisoning to providing safe environments, these incredible birds would likely disappear. You can help condors by properly disposing of trash and using non-lead ammunition when hunting, or maybe just don't hunt at all. Snow leopards are incredible creatures, adapted to survive in the harsh, mountainous regions of Central Asia. Despite their resilience, they face serious threats that make human aid critical to their survival. Habitat destruction, poaching, and the loss of their natural prey have all contributed to a dramatic decline in their population, with fewer than 10,000 left in the wild. In some areas, snow leopards are forced to prey on livestock, which often leads to conflict with humans. Conservation efforts, like creating safe habitats and preventing poaching, are essential to protect them from extinction. Without these measures, snow leopards would likely vanish from the wild. Programs that promote coexistence between snow leopards and local communities are key to securing a future for these elusive ghosts of the mountains. The red fox is becoming a growing concern for British citizens as humans encroach further into their habitats. Once thriving in rural areas, these adaptable animals are increasingly spotted in urban environments, often scavenging for food. This shift has led to a rise in conflicts with people, as foxes rummage through garbage and even venture into gardens. While red foxes are skilled at surviving in diverse environments, their health and safety are at risk due to habitat loss and increased interactions with humans. Our growth and progress as a species has a serious impact on the natural territories of wildlife. As they adapt to our changing world, should we be more conscientious of our effects on them, or should we let the natural selection process take place? What are your thoughts? The Earth really is supernatural.